Hi there, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Regina and this is Our Gifted Garden. In today's video, I am going to be doing some harvesting and I can't wait to show you guys all of the goodies I get. But before we get into it, please go ahead and click that subscribe button if you're interested in more gardening content. Click that like button. That helps this video get out to more gardeners and it's a free way to support the channel that I would greatly appreciate. And of course I am growing in Zone A8, y'all. Of course I am growing in Zone 8A, which is, I'm in North Texas, just outside of Dallas. So if you know anyone who would benefit from this content, who's growing in this area or something similar, or you're just interested in more gardening content, then also share this video with a friend. Now, let's get into it. Okay, since we've started having cooler temps over the last few weeks, and by cooler I mean not in the hundreds, it's still been in the 90s, but today actually I don't even think it got out of the 80s. But once those temps started coming down a bit and we weren't getting those 100-degree temperatures every day, my pepper plants really took off. Now all summer long they were growing, lots of foliage, but I wasn't getting as many peppers as I do when the weather's a little bit nicer. Well, since then I have gotten so many peppers on these plants. These plants are full of peppers. So today I want to do a huge harvest of my pepper plants so I can kind of release some of that fruit load off the plants, let the plants continue to grow, crank out some more flowers, crank out some more fruit, so I can get a ton more before this season is over. Here in North Texas, I most likely won't get a freeze until late November, December, sometimes not even until the very 1st of January. So hopefully if that is the case this year, then I'm gonna let these plants keep going until a freeze kills them so that I can get as much production out of them as possible. So, just so that you know, growing, I have a lot of different kinds of peppers, and as I harvest, I'll just kind of pause and show you guys what types of peppers I am harvesting so that you can see that. I grow a lot of varieties of pepper, some hot, some sweet. I definitely grow more sweet than hot because something I've noticed is that the hot peppers, for one, each plant tends to produce like a ton of peppers, maybe because a lot of them are smaller, so the plants just produce more. And also in my house, it's my husband and me and 3 kids, and so we just don't eat our food quite that spicy. My husband and I love spicy food, and so we dehydrate a lot of hot peppers and sprinkle them on there and use them in those ways. But the ones that are more practical for me to use in cooking and more of my cooking applications are the sweet peppers. So I grow, and bell peppers. So I grow lots of bell peppers and sweet peppers as well. So now we're gonna get into it. So when I harvest peppers, I always use pruners. Peppers are really hard to get off the plant without damaging the plant unless you're cutting them. So you don't want to damage your plants because you're too lazy to go inside and grab some scissors. Use pruners, don't damage your plants. So I'm going to start with eggplant. Here is a fairy tale hybrid eggplant. And this plant, I don't know, it's had some pest pressure. It's kind of weird because these eggplant are starting to, they should be, sorry y'all, thought I saw grasshopper. They should be purple, but they're turning like yellowish. There's some kind of weird bug on them. I'm going to pull them off, but I'm not going to eat these because I don't know why they're a weird color. But I'm just going to harvest all these off. See, like, look at that color. It's not the color they're supposed to be. So that maybe the plant will put out some more flowers. But I've gotten really good harvests. It's my first year ever growing eggplant, and I have these fairy tale ones and the Rosita ones, and they actually have grown very well for me. So I'm just going to toss these out and hope that it puts on some more flowers. I have another fairy tale plant right next to this one, and then a Rosita one, and so I'll keep those going. And the reason why I'm harvesting them, I know I said peppers, but they're growing in my pepper bed. That's where I planted them because this is an 8x4 bed, and I didn't need to use it just for peppers. I grew plenty of peppers, so I wanted to add something to that, and I added an eggplant, and it's grown well here. Okay. So this plant, this tall one right here, this is a Durango chili plant, and it kind of stretches around. It has branches. It's kind of a lanky plant that's growing branches kind of everywhere, but it has a lot of peppers on it. They turn red, and then they're supposed to turn like a dark color, but I've never left them on there long enough to do that because they start to not look great. So I want to take them off. But they're red, and these are technically hot peppers, but they're actually not very hot. and incredibly prolific. So I can use them in things like chili to add a nice like little kick, but not too much. So let me get these guys. Let me back up my camera so you guys can see the whole plant, and I'm gonna get these guys off. Okay, so that's it for the Durango chilies. Y'all, it was like, I just looked and I harvested about 15 or 20. At the end of the video, I'll lay out all the peppers I harvested so you can see, but it was a lot of peppers. And that's one plant. Each of my hot pepper plants, I have one of each, and then my sweet peppers, I have two of each. So, next up are the poblanos. That's these right here. Now, this year, my poblanos, for whatever reason, I purchased seeds from a different seller, and these poblano peppers look kind of like a mix between a poblano and a bell pepper. And I know I have all these peppers here together, but them cross-pollinating at this stage should not change the fruit. Like, if they've cross-pollinated with like my bell peppers, then if I use the seeds from those peppers and planted them, then those would be the peppers that have a different, you know, that are different. These, even if they had some cross-pollination with like bell peppers or something else, should still be poblanos. It should not affect them at this stage. So I wonder if maybe the seeds were cross-pollinated in some way, because they do not look right. I've already harvested a few because some of the branches were broken just from wind and stuff like that. And just looking at them all season long, they have not looked like the long, dark poblanos I've gotten in the past. So next year I'll purchase seeds from a different place and see how they go. But yeah, so here's an example. See, it's not like big like a bell pepper. It has some of the shaping you'd see on a poblano, but look how short they are. And then look at this one. It almost looks like a bell pepper. So I don't know what the deal is. I'm gonna taste it, see if it's kind of hot or sweet, and then go from there and deciding what to do with them. But it's still food, so we're gonna figure it out. Okay, so this next area I'm harvesting kind of in the middle of the bed. There's kind of a jumble. Like I planted my hot peppers on this end, and then my sweet peppers in the middle and going this way. But with the way the branches grow, they just kind of have crossed over each other. I gave each plant 1 square foot of space, which has so far still worked out fine. I don't mind the branches crossing. If that allows me to plant more plants and get more production, I'm okay with that, with kind of digging through. With my peppers in general, I know I can tell what kind they are. And of course I can always still trace them down to the main plant. But all of my y'all, these mosquitoes are aggressive. I even have on bug spray, but anyway, all of the peppers kind of look different from each other. I can essentially tell the difference. Aside from the jalapenos and the serranos that look kind of similar, but otherwise, all of these peppers, yikes, look different. So they should be, I'm generally able to distinguish one from the other, even if I don't see exactly which plant I pulled it off of. So I'm gonna harvest these in the middle where you guys can see, and I'll show you what I got. Oh, just so you know, the varieties I have in here that I'll be harvesting, I think I see some cayenne that are right here in the middle, and then some orange juice sweet, which is our sweet lunchbox pepper, and then also some cubanelles or some giant marconis, or marconis, I don't think they're giant marconis, that are in this mix as well. We'll see. So here's the orange juice sweet. It is like the cutest little pepper. So delicious. These are really sweet. They have like a citrusy flavor. These are really good for fresh eating. So here's the other side of the bed where I have the peppers. I used this trellis to attach some of the pepper plants to when I was tying them up, since it's already here where my cucumbers were growing. And so I can pick some of them from this side until the green beans grow up and take up that space. Down while I was outside, so I finished up really quickly. I also ended up harvesting a few pieces of okra and a few yard-long beans. But I finished my harvesting, but I had to shoot the ending indoors. So I want to show you guys first off what I got. So here's my basket. Now this is not all peppers. There are peppers on the top, so I would say about half of this basket is peppers. It weighs so much. I tried to weigh it on my tiny scale. It did not. It had an error, and I didn't want to take it into my bathroom and weigh it. But this is what I've harvested. Peppers today, and then there's a lot of filled peas in here and okra from yesterday. So that is what is full of my basket. Yesterday when I harvested, I was tired. I just came in, brought the basket in, set it down, didn't even pull everything out. So tonight I'll be taking some of this out, and then I'll start the process of processing it. I probably won't finish till tomorrow though. But this is what I got. And now if you take a look, I'm going to lay all this out on the table so you can see everything. I'll separate the peppers. Peppers are separated into the different varieties that I have. And so now you can see everything that I got. Right? So much. And now that those plants have been kind of freed up a bit, plants put a lot of energy into ripening and growing the fruit. So now that I've taken a lot of that load off of them, they can put out some more flowers and it grows some more fruit for me. So very, very excited. If you live in a warm climate, especially here in North Texas, put a couple pepper plants in the ground and you won't have to buy peppers. Like, I have not bought peppers since I've been gardening. So any year I garden, I don't have to buy peppers for that year, because chop them up and freeze them. Some of them I'll blanch and freeze whole. Some of them I'll go ahead and make into stuffed peppers and eat then or to eat later. I have literally all my pepper needs, even my dehydrated and I even have dehydrated bell pepper and dehydrated cayenne pepper, dehydrated habanero, dehydrated ancho chiles, also to use. So all of my pepper needs are covered by me growing peppers in one 8x4-inch bed. 1 foot of which I use so 8 feet of which I use to grow cucumber and now green beans, and then another 3 feet that I use to grow eggplant. So the rest of it is being used by these pepper plants. So they don't take a ton of space. Peppers do great in containers if you want to do that instead, but grow some peppers. They are totally worth it. This weighs a lot, like it's heavy. So thank you for sticking around to the end of this video. I hope that you enjoyed seeing my garden, that you found this content helpful, and if you haven't done so already, please go ahead and click that like button, which is incredibly helpful. And if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that as well, and share this video with other gardeners who you think might find this content helpful. Hopefully you guys can't hear the background noise. There are showers going and everything. It's the evening. But until we meet again, have a great one. Bye.